And we are live. Color Circuit coming at you with another episode of Rough Draft Theater. Thank you so much. We missed you last time, but we are back in full effect, just letting you know that it's about time to bring to you the thrilling conclusion of 1983's The Batman. Am I starting over? All right. Oh, yeah. All right. I am your host, Fernando Gonzalez, and with me is the fabulous crew, the most amazing cast, the most talented people one could hope for to share a table, bringing it to you. First, from my left, Mr.
Tate Peterson.
And I'm Eleanor Smith.
Hello, I am Bridget S. Dunn.
I'm this weird stranger named Bond.
Yeah, we just kind of, we like the looks of him, so we brought him in, and yeah, so that's how we do. In any case, seriously, we've kind of made this one drag out so long, so I do not believe we have any room for any possible further ado, not even an iota.
This is a push.
Yeah,
Push.
not even a skosh of ado.
But just really quickly, Eleanor, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
It's our first
We
time
love
on
her.
Color Circuit, and it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
We're excited and we love her. Okay, go.
Bestest.
Go. Do
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
this is gonna be fun.
Do it.
All right, so we are here. All right, so here we go. Dissolve through to interior Penguin's bedroom. Day. Camera pans a spacious bedroom which is entirely decorated in black and white. A huge four-poster bed dominates, covered by a piece of drapery in the shape of an open umbrella, also in black and white. It frames the figure of the Penguin who lies in bed, an ice pack on his head, a thermometer sticking out of his mouth. This is an elegant man, dressed in a white robe with a black collar, propped up on black silk sheets against black and white checkered pillows. A cooing sound makes him glance at a partially opened window where a pigeon has landed, now looks at him questioningly. The Penguin makes a clucking bird-like sound of welcome, which the pigeon seems to recognize. It flies over to his bed, hops up into his lap. A statuesque woman, Empress, enters, carrying a tureen of shrimp embedded in ice. She wears a tight wool body stocking, a muffler wrapped around her neck.
Oh, this is totes mean.
I just imagine car muffler. Like,
No jokes! No! Serious business!
sorry.
Does anybody... I haven't done
Here,
this character
sweetie.
yet. Here, okay, it's me. Here, sweetie, eat them while they're nice and frozen. Feel better?
A smidge.
The Penguin removes his thermometer, looks at it.
Oh, 65 degrees. Normal. I can't understand it.
He takes a bite of frozen shrimp, removes the ice pack from his head, slips it inside his robe. He leans in, tugs on the Empress's muffler gently, smiles.
Ooh, feeling life? Feather in the nest for a while?
If you'll let me turn the thermostat up to 40, that was our deal, remember?
He strokes her face tenderly, makes his clucking sound. Shivers run up and down her body.
Confess. Where you're with me, it's always Honolulu in your heart.
Are you kidding? It's so cold in here, a Flash would have described himself.
There's a knock from the doorway. A 7-foot, sallow-looking butler, Marabou, with a vulture-like face appears.
Excuse me, Mr. Penguin. Your luncheon guest has arrived.
Oh, thank you, Marabou.
May I take your luncheon order now, sir?
The pigeon coos from the Penguin's lap. He looks down.
Why, yes, Marabou. Yes, you may.
His hand wanders below frame. We hear the sound of a neck snapping. The Empress turns away in disgust. Interior Penguin's dining room. Day. An elegant dining room. At one end of a checkered black and white table, the Penguin. Dressed in white tie and tails, he pops an icy codfish ball into his mouth.
Oh, even for a criminal as phenomenally gifted as I. This is indeed an honor, sir.
At the other end, the Joker. Teeth chattering, not touching his food. Wrapped in a heavy overcoat with muffler and earmuffs, he blows into his hands. 4 sets of candelabra are drawn in around him for warmth.
Nice little meat locker you got here. Who'd you buy it from? Bird's Eye?
A frozen giggle collapses. The Penguin blinks stoically.
I'm heartbroken you haven't touched your food. Had I the clownfish cooked especially for you? Do you prefer codfish instead? Or codfish balls? Oh, shit.
Don't miss the bowl joke.
Don't miss the bowls. Gotta cup them.
I don't know. I never attended any.
An insane chuckle rises, then dies, teeth chattering.
But seriously, Big Bird, I need a favor.
Outside of possibility offering you a brain scan, how may I help you?
I've worked hard to make Gotham City we could all be proud of. The kind of place where an ambitious young hood could come home after a hard day, dealing drugs and getting some peaceful sleep at night. But all that was baby.
Baby?
It
For
says baby.
Batman.
Oh.
Oh, that's literally the next line.
Rimshot.
I didn't read it. I didn't read it.
And
Rimshot. I'd like to send that cowled cop lover on a little trip tomorrow night. But I'm not going to need you to provide the flight insurance. Which reminds me, do you know what you get when you make love to the wrong canary?
I haven't got a clue.
Torpies.
he explodes with laughter. The penguin stares blankly.
Not only that, but the disease is completely untweetable.
The penguin winces sadly, lowers his eyes as the Joker slams his semi-frozen clownfish against his plate, his body racked by uncontrollable guffaws. Interior Batcave day. Alfred holds an aerosol wax can and a cloth. He polishes an enormous white animal tooth.
With all this extra cleaning to do, sir, do you mind if I engage additional staff for the mansion?
An acetylene torch whines in reply. Wide angle, Batcave. We see the Batcave for the first time. The Gothic cavern walls are now spotless. Alfred stands on a ladder polishing a tooth of a mechanical Tyrannosaurus Rex. Next to it is the giant penny. This, along with other exhibits, is the trophy section. Camera pans. One area of the cave is devoted to exercise. Weights, Nautilus machines. That is an incredibly old school reference they just made there.
Cool as fuck.
Wow, Nautilus machines.
I want one.
Rings,
I want-
even a trapeze. The acetylene torch whines. Camera pans. Another section features a myriad of complicated machines in a fully equipped crime lab. Past the crime lab, Bruce lies on his back under a partially constructed futuristic automobile. He trains an acetylene torch against one section as the sparks fly. It's just the shell of a car now. Other sections and odd electronic devices are strewn about the area. Bruce shuts off his torch, removes a faceplate, reaches back for a long cylindrical network of crisscrossing cables. He starts to fit it onto one underside edge of the chassis. I'm sorry, Alfred. Did you say something?
What on earth is all that metallic spaghetti in aid of?
There's a magnum pistol in the table drawer over there. Take it out, would you? Alfred descends the ladder as Bruce rises, crosses to two larger versions of the cabled cylinders. They stand upright, some 8 feet apart from each other. Bruce leans down, opens the top of a large transformer box. I've connected 2 mega-transformer leads to form a force field of 1,000,000 volts. Bruce flips a switch. Dazzling blue light begins to dance between the cable cylinders. Alfred turns with the gun in his hand as Bruce calls to him from behind the sparkling wall of blue light. Shoot me.
Pardon?
Shoot to kill. Aim for the heart.
I
Oh, damn.
assume this apparatus has been thoroughly tested, sir.
We're doing it right now. Alfred stares incredulously, the gun shaking in his hand.
Sir, if you've miscalculated...
Be a good soldier, Alfred. Shoot. Now. Alfred straightens his arm, his finger squeezing the trigger. Wait! Too late. Alfred fires. The bullet bounces off the blue wall of light, then ricochets back at Alfred, pinging the cavern wall next to his head. Alfred hits the deck as the lead cartridge continues a seemingly endless path of ricochets until there is sudden silence. Alfred rises, sweat dripping from his brow. Bruce grins, turning off the blue light. I forgot to tell you to duck. That's fucked up. Exterior, Gotham City Hall, night. A taxi pulls up to the darkened City Hall. Silver exits, starts up the steps. Interior, City Hall, night. Silver enters, crosses the lobby to the elevators. A guard looks up from his night desk.
Just a minute, miss.
Was I British? I think I was British.
You were actually Irish or
Oh, I was.
that's
Oh,
right. Yeah, you're
I was
Irish.
Irish.
Scottish?
they're Scottish.
Oh,
I
it
think
was Scottish. Oh,
Yeah,
that's what
the
it
one.
was. Oh, there it
Silver
is.
seed.
All right.
Dude.
I had a
That
little
was
trouble.
she.
It's been so long. All right, let's get. Here we go. Here we go. It's okay, Victor. It's. Where's Victor?
Victor's sick tonight. What's your name?
St. Cloud. I'm on Councilman Thorne's staff, just catching up on a little back work.
The doors are all locked up there, miss, and I'm not authorized to open them.
Silver dangles her key with a pleasant smile, passes by him, enters the elevator. The doors close. The nervous guard picks up a house phone.
There's a girl named Silver St. Cloud on her way up. I tried to stop her.
Interior elevator shaft, night. Camera locks down from the main gears of the elevator at a seemingly endless shaft of cables. The car carrying Silver rises quickly, jerks to a stop at one of the top floors. Interior, City Hall corridor, night. Silver exits the elevator, starts down the corridor for her office door. She passes Thorn's office, then stops, hearing muffled voices from inside.
Rupert?
There's sudden silence. Silver cocks her head curiously.
Rupert, it's Silver.
Silver opens the door, suddenly recoils aghast. Angle on Thorn, her point of view. Thorn sits behind his desk, bound and gagged, tied to the chair. His eyes bulge in terror as Silver rushes in.
Rupert, what happened?
You like that gag?
Silver wheels to face the Joker behind her.
Well, here's an even better one.
A stream of clear liquid shoots out from a plastic flower on the Joker's coat lapel, drenching Silver's place as she recoils, stunned, then instantly drops to the floor. The Joker giggles as Thorn rises from behind the desk, the ropes dropping off him like spaghetti. 2 spaghetti references, very short order.
A lot of spaghetti in
Yeah.
this.
It's a food time for him
Someone
right
was
now.
hungry. Wasn't right?
Yep. Yeah, that was Mankiewicz for you, though. He was totally hungry.
some pasta.
He was a hungry
Feel
boy.
Italian, yeah.
He takes the gag out of his mouth, looks down at Silver, nervous and agitated.
I can't get her involved. This changes everything.
This changes nothing. In fact, it might even give that black-caped creep an added incentive to walk into our trap.
How long before she wakes up?
Half an hour? Never, if you prefer.
This better work out. I warn you, Joker, don't disappoint me.
Please, if everyone in this country worked as efficiently as I do, we'd be back on the road to prosperity. Oh, and starting tomorrow, after the Batman's funeral, don't you disappoint me, understand?
The Joker smiles cruelly, giggles, then disappears. Interior Batcave, night. Camera pans the cavernous Batcave. We hear the low, powerful whining grind of what seems to be turbine engines. It rises in pitch and intensity, growing richer and more deafening than a 747. Why would it be richer?
I don't know. It's a
Like
fuller
it's
sound, I
super
guess.
pleasant, but yet you're fucking...
I'm dying inside. Yeah, it's like, I can't hear anymore. It's great.
The blasting sound is coming from behind a corner of the cave, its source unseen. But up against one wall in a cubicle niche, a red telephone pulsates with glowing light. Interior Wayne Manor hallway, night. Alfred walks down the hallway dressed for bed, stifles a yawn, notices something through the open study door. Angle on study door, his POV. The light coming from the study seems to pulsate as well, first dying, then rising, dying, then rising. Interior study, night. The pulsating light comes from a desk lamp. Alfred enters, crosses, presses a hidden button under the desk.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Welcome.
A bottom drawer pops open, revealing a glowing red extension of the bat phone in the cave. Alfred shoves the drawer back, hurries out of the study. Interior living room, night. Alfred crosses the living room, heading for a tall grandfather clock at one end. He reaches behind the clock. We hear a switch click. Alfred reaches behind, swivels the clock away from the wall. The sound of the engine whine becomes immediately audible. Alfred hurries through the opening in the wall.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Exterior Gotham sky, night. Knifing up into the blackness over the skyline of Gotham City. The gleaming bat signal. Interior Thorn's office, night. The office has been ransacked, drawers overturned, bookcases emptied with piles of paper and debris strewn across the floor. Silver sits in a chair, conscious but still groggy. Thorn paces angrily in front of Gordon, kicking trash left and right as the Batman watches from inside the doorway, his eyes darting back and forth.
It's unbelievable. The Joker, right here in my office. He could have killed her. He could have killed me, for God's sake.
I wonder why he didn't. Batman crosses, eyes riveted on Silver. She feels his magnetic gaze on her, now stares back, fascinated by him.
You sound disappointed.
Calm down, Rupert. We've got a long night ahead of us.
What's this wee crap?
Oh well, you're the only one who was missing. I'll send a squad car to drive you home, Miss St. Cloud.
Oh, how I've
Still a
missed you.
favorite.
I've missed you,
Still a
Commissioner
favorite.
Gordon.
Silver nods at Gordon, then looks back into the dark, magnetically intimidating gaze of the Batman.
Perhaps the Batman would be kind enough to see me home.
What?
Batman stares back at Silver with no apparent reaction. She smiles unsteadily, not sure of herself.
If I'm not too far out of your way.
I can't imagine such a place exists, Miss St. Cloud.
Oh, brother.
Silver blushes, then rises, offers Batman her arm.
Good night, Rupert.
Wait!
Batman leads Silver out the door. Thorne's face trembles with rage and frustration as Gordon looks over curiously.
Relax, Rupert. I mean, we could. She'd be safer with them, right?
Camera pushes in on Thorne's troubled face. Interior hallway night. Batman leads Silver to the elevator, presses the button.
We're taking the elevator.
Doesn't everybody?
Why did I have this feeling we'd be dropping out a window together or something exotic like that?
The elevator arrives. They enter. Interior, top of elevator shaft, night. The main gears of the elevator shaft start to churn. Suddenly, the beam from a welding torch appears, rapidly cutting away at one of the cables. Camera pans. The Penguin hangs suspended in the shaft, supported in midair by the whirling ribs of a huge umbrella hooked to the back of his belt. He trains the torch on the cable, looks down, clucks contently. Suddenly, the cable snaps! Interior, elevator, night. A jarring jolt. The elevator suddenly drops. Silver screams as she and Batman are momentarily pushed up into the air. Batman grabs onto a light fixture in the roof, bashes the ceiling escape hatch away. That'd be great.
That was good. That was really good.
Angle on elevator, plummeting down the shaft. Back to Batman. He reaches into his utility belt, pulls out a nail-like piece of curved metal attached to a nylon cord. It pops open into a large four-pronged fishhook. Grab my belt. Hang on. Angle in shaft. The hook flies out of the top of the sinking elevator, heading for the wall of the shaft. It grazes down the shaft wall,
Getting to our
catches
porn
on one
section
set
now.
of gears which allow the doors to open on each individual floor. The nylon cord goes taut. Back to elevator. Silver hangs on as Batman hooks his arms around her. The two of them shoot upwards through the escape hatch. Angle on elevator. Still plummeting. It hits the ground with an ear-splitting, sickening crash.
Crash.
Interior, third floor hallway, night. A washerwoman standing by the elevator doors with her mop and pail presses the down button. It opens.
A washerwoman.
Right?
Jesus
A
H.
fishwife.
It's a fishmonger.
Fishmonger already? Where's Penguin?
Batman and Silver hang by the cord in the shaft, her arms locked around him in a death grip. She stares goggle-eyed. Next time, remind me to try the window. Exterior, street, night. Batman and Silver walk down a deserted street. She's a wreck, trembling, ripped dress with streaks of cable grease on her face and hair. I'm parked in the alleyway. Didn't want to attract attention.
A bit late for that, isn't it?
Suddenly, the roar of engines is heard from the sky. Batman and Silver's heads snap up. Angle on Penguin's gang, their POV. 3 Penguin Confederates whiz down at them through the night sky wearing jetpacks. How the fuck did they get jetpacks?
Fucking amazing. Penguin's got money, bro. Penguin's got money. Batman's not the only one who's gonna have fun. This is gonna
Yeah, fair enough. Orange flames shoot out from behind their propelling rigs as they maneuver through the air, now heading into a synchronized power dive. The Penguin hovers above, still supported by his whirling umbrella copter. Fuck yeah. Shit just got real. A hail of machine gun bullets spews forth from guns mounted on top of their packs. The flyers close in on Batman and Silver like attacking fighter planes. Back to Batman and Silver. Batman dives behind a row of garbage cans, pushing a screaming Silver down in front of him as the fuselage ricochets off the cans and building walls. That, I don't know why I just like having him do that.
But I like that that's how Batman expresses his
She's always angry. That's all he got. That's all he's got.
The flying formation zooms back up into the sky again, preparing to make another pass. Batman turns to a trembling Silver who is paralyzed with fear. Stay here. It's me they want.
Don't leave me!
Batman turns and looks. She's a quaking mess.
Oh, please. I've been a pretty cheap date so far. That's a fucking shite line, isn't it?
Yep.
I've been a pretty cheap date so far.
Just don't kill me. That's all I
Fuck
ask
you,
for.
script. Fuck you.
Yep. Who was it? Was it Jim Mankiewicz?
I think
Tom?
so, yeah.
Tim?
Tim,
Steve?
Dave,
Okay.
This is extra
Bob,
basic.
Bill?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gary.
All of them.
But you know what? Just as long as, she's written so strongly.
Yeah.
It's just such a strong
Strongest
character.
woman in this film.
She's
so
like, oh, don't leave me. I've been a cheap date so far.
you can get in my pants right now,
Eh,
but not really.
Do you want to maybe do it? We could do it right now in the alley. We could. Okay, sorry. Focus.
Holy
Try not to die.
And wait, where are we?
Okay.
Go.
He takes her hand as they run into the alleyway.
Oh,
God damn it. Angle on sky. The Penguins group is reassembled in a formation and start another power dive.
Let's go, boys.
Interior alleyway night. The screen is totally black. Suddenly, one glaring yellow headlight in the shape of an eye appears. Then another. Angle on engines. Twin turbine engines fire up, their glowing red exhaust filling the screen. Angle on street. The Batmobile screams from the alleyway out into the street. A sleek, powerful, futuristic panther of a car. Jet black with a domed interior. Interior,
makes you
Batmobile night. The interior is a glistening, intricate maze of computers, screens, and complicated electrical systems. Silver's eyes are frozen open in astonishment. Batman looks over. Please don't touch anything.
Like the cigarette lighter.
Batman smiles, points it out. There is one.
Oh.
Just in case he has to fucking burn one?
Is Batman a smoker? We've accomplished that Batman's a smoker. There we go.
Yep, confirmed.
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 Why the fuck was...
Okay,
It's really
all right.
stressful beating up the city's criminals, guys.
Yeah. Sometimes he feels bad being like a member of the 1%, just knocking the shit out of the mentally
I'll
ill.
get a normal little push-in lighter. And it'll be
Poor
fine.
people just trying to sell drugs to get by. It's a really hard life, guys.
Sorry. I just had to beat the shit out of guys.
Alfred, throw this out for me.
I'm not proud of
myself.
So bad. I know. Well, never
Yeah,
learn. Never
that
learn.
guy, he was disfigured in a crippling accident, and now I gotta knock the fuck out of him. All right, this-
I'm a bad man. I'm the bad man.
You're the bad man.
we are getting nowhere.
As per usual.
But you know what? We're having fun.
We're having fun.
And that's what makes the difference.
Damn
and
it.
we hope that you are having fun out there.
If if you're not,
I'll love
oh well.
Angle on sky. The Penguin and his 3 jetpack bandits. That's new. That is
Oh,
new.
It's capitalized.
Yeah.
It's the
Jetpack
Jetpack
Bandits.
Bandits. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
One
like
does not
the Time
fuck with the
Bandits,
jetpack
but
bandits.
Bandits.
Zoom down at the car, their mounted machine guns blazing. Bandit number 1 powers forward, spewing bullets as he comes. Interior, Batmobile, night.
he did.
I'm ignoring that one. A succession of ricochet hits on the Batmobile roof causes Silver to hunch over in terror as Batman flips a switch. Angle on Batmobile. The 2 coiled cylinders under either side of the car suddenly eject intersecting streams of blue light. The force field we saw tested in the Batcave, which now bathes the entire vehicle in a solid blue glow.
Star
That's
Wars.
a weird one.
Yeah.
You know, when the fuck did he
It's
have
getting
a
Star
Bat
Wars-y.
force field? Yeah. Yeah.
We're
It's just we're pushing into the force, and Marvel and like DC is getting real handsy.
Did you ever see Batman the Brave and the Bold?
Yeah.
Okay. He always had a fucking
Always.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
He had a
It's
lightsaber
just
in
like,
his belt.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. It's my quick little laser fix.
Yeah, it was like Silver
like
Age Batman
Ninja.
who had all sorts of crazy
It
shit.
makes
Did you
no
ever see
sense.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
That is
Yeah,
odd.
he literally had all the tools he needed to just be the Silver Age Batman who could literally do anything.
Yeah, he
like
could
all
be-
the cosmic threats, he kicked their asses.
Be Batman 10,000, it would be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Anywho.
sidebar. A new hail of bullets ricochets off the impregnable field of blue light, zinging back up into the air in the direction from which they came. Angle on bandits, their face registering horror as several of their own bullets whiz by them, narrowly missing. They soar higher to avoid their own fire. Back on Batmobile, speeding down an avenue along the side of the park. Interior Batmobile night. Silver looks over hopefully.
I guess we frightened them off.
Batman shakes his head, flips another switch. A small radar screen lights up. 3 blinking light blips are still following them. Batman suddenly looks ahead, eyes widening. Another car heads directly at them, guns blazing.
I think I'll keep my mouth shut.
Angle on street. The hood car swerves off the street into the park. The Batmobile squeals
Yeah,
into
real
a
hood.
180 and roars after it. Angle on Penguin in sky. The Penguin watches from the sky with satisfaction.
He's taking the bait.
He motions 2 bandits to fly off in another direction, then swivels in midair, points bandit number 3 down at the Batmobile.
The tires are cretin. Go for the tires.
Angle on Park Road. The Batmobile pursues the hood car through the park as Bandit number 3 looms up from behind, guns blazing. Interior Batmobile night. Batman looks over at a terrified Silver reassuringly. Don't worry.
Worry? How's the mileage on this?
It doesn't use gasoline.
Of course.
Sex.
Yeah. but weird sex. Weird sex.
Oh, Batman
So-
fucks weird. Yeah.
Reminder, Batman fucks weird.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Batman fucks
Do
weird.
electrical cars not go on mileage?
No,
Well,
this is not a well-written script, Eleanor. Don't worry about it.
Just, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah.
Either that or he was super progressive with his energy policies, but they couldn't really go into that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
yeah.
solar.
Yeah,
It's
it
all
was very
No miles
fringe
whatsoever.
stuff.
Strong,
Whoops,
trying to make
what's
sure
going
it
on?
works. Yeah.
Turns out, literally, that's the reason the script never made it, because Batman was like, renewable energy is the way of the future. And they're like,
works.
fuck that.
All
Gas-
that-
no,
Too progressive.
no,
Get the fuck
petrol.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna have the oil lobbies coming after us. No.
Oil and gas lobbies
can't-
just shut this shit
Yeah, we
down.
can't. We can't do
I
that. We
believe
can't
it.
do that.
Yep.
It doesn't use gasoline. Oh, of course not. Silly of me.
Angle on Bandit number 3. Guns blazing down at the road behind the Batmobile. Angle on road. A stream of bullets advances inexorably toward the rear tires of the Batmobile. Interior Batmobile night. Batman realizes what's happening and presses a button. Angle on rear of Batmobile. Steel casings drop down over the tires as the bullets make contact too late. Ping off of them harmlessly. Angle on Bandit number 3. Whizzing along through the air behind the Batmobile, registering his frustration. Interior Batmobile night.
I'm frustrated.
Do you know what the #1 hazard is on the American road these days?
Fucking hell. Surprise me.
Weak smile.
Tailgaters. Angle on rear of Batmobile. Way too many fucking one-liners
weak
for the
smile.
bat on this shit.
I'm actually terrified.
Who was the super? Which character was it that you did the super weak voice with?
It's Commissioner Gordon.
It's Commissioner
Well,
Gordon.
wasn't there another?
Oh, there was also Newscap Boy, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, and then
He's been killing it on
Commissioner
this.
Gordon, and then I was doing his like
The super
the
psychic,
the sergeant or something, and
oh,
so
yeah.
it was like a duel of like
it.
you.
Fucking milk toasty.
Oh,
How feeble each other, and that
Commissioner.
was so rad.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really.
maybe
really
we
fan.
should call the madman. We're talented.
We're so talented.
We're
It's the
so
best.
talented.
Angle on rear of Batmobile. The trunk of the Batmobile suddenly pops open. A giant horseshoe magnet swivels, pointing out behind the car. Angle on Bandit number 3. Screaming wide-eyed as the force of the powerful magnet spins him in midair and he's sucked into the trunk by his jetpack. What?
I wasn't ready for
The trunk closes on him, slamming shut. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Apparently,
That's so
Inspector
incredibly
Gadget
dangerous.
Also had a
This is
hand in
amazing.
building this
Yeah.
Batmobile.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were best friends when they made
Inspector
it.
Batman.
Do 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 do. It is the Batman. Do 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 do. Okay.
Getting no work done.
was delightful.
Actually, you know what? We're like 40 pages away from being done
true.
with
We're
it.
doing really well.
We've gotten quite a.
We're doing fine.
This is quite surprising how well we've done
let's
this
be
far.
supportive of each other.
Good adults.
We're just fucking around. Okay, anyway. Angle on Penguin in sky. Still, okay, I'm fucked up by the giant magnet pulling dude out of the sky into the trunk. It was like, that is some brand new bat tech.
That is, yeah, that's like very classic 60s or 50s Batman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's yeah. That's
Straight from TV
that's what
shows.
this is. This is like a. It's got like hints of like the Batman that we saw, like the Tim Burton one. But then
Yeah.
we've got a giant magnet, so we're
Yeah.
just going full Adam West
Yeah,
at this
we're
point.
all over the
We're
place
expecting
on
that
this
Joker has
Pow.
his mustache inside there, just
Yeah.
painted over.
Over
the Caesar
painted
Romero.
over.
Yeah.
Caesar Romero mustache covered over, so beautiful.
That was so
Praise
bad.
praise
Yep.
be to Caesar Romero.
It was great except for the fact that he was such a creep in real life.
Yeah.
a terrifying man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Any hoozles.
wouldn't that be weird to think if this was Adam West the entire time?
I'd be the happiest man on the planet. This is
Okay, maybe I'll read
I
that.
have to like reframe. I have to like reframe what I was picturing in my mind because now I'm gonna go Adam West.
Batman. Fucks weird.
it even gets better because Dick gets involved.
Yeah.
Kapow! Okay. Jesus Christ!
Looks like it's tailgaters that are the worst hazard on the American road. All right, that is quite enough of that,
That is
shit.
quite enough of that.
The Penguin looks down disgustedly, then lifts his gaze ahead and below into the park. Exterior park, angle on curve, night. A bandit watches near a curve in the park road as the hood car roars by. He gestures impatiently off into the darkness. Bandit number 2 settles in behind a jest of rocks?
Okay.
What is that?
I don't know what a jest of rocks is. Whatever.
Anyways.
Trains an automatic weapon back down the road. Back to Batmobile, roaring through the park toward camera. Interior Batmobile night. Batman looks ahead, suddenly worried. Angle through windshield. 2 blazing headlights seem to be speeding directly at him, growing larger by the second. Back to Batmobile.
Hit the brakes! Hit the brakes!
Batman grimly steps on the accelerator. Angle on front bumper. Now emerging from the front of the Batmobile, a long black battering ram with a razor-sharp gleaming steel tip. It's so phallic! So much penetration!
Everybody drink!
Oh, yeah!
The drinking game, it's time for everyone takes a shot.
I can feel it! Okay. Wouldn't that be great if it was Adam West trying to...
Oh, that'd be the part. That's
so long! Oh, my God.
Mother of pearl. Just, okay.
Back to view through windshield.
Just talking about the
2
tip.
oncoming headlights are about to make contact as, wider angle, the Batmobile explodes through what was a giant mirror in a sea of flying glass. Bandit number 2 lets off an ineffectual burst of automatic fire, now lowers his weapon in disgust as the vehicle roars on. Back to Penguin in sky, gritting his teeth in frustration, looking up ahead. Exterior park, angle of bridge over lake, night. The park road curves onto a bridge which spans the park lake. The hood car speeds quickly across it. Angle below bridge, a bandit stands by a plunger detonator device. Back to bridge. The Batmobile starts across at full speed. Suddenly a huge explosion collapses the section of the bridge directly in front of it. Interior Batmobile night. Plummeting down through the air toward the lake. Batman works his controls frantically as Silver screams. Angle on lake.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, you startle me when you do that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Silver.
It's okay.
We're gonna be fine. No, that was a little more Patrick Warburton, but still.
It still works.
Those maniacal fiends. Angle on lake. The Batmobile plunges into the lake. A brilliant shower of blue sparks explode across the water surface as the vehicle disappears. For a moment, all is still. Angle on Penguin in air. The Penguin looks down, clucking contentedly. His expression suddenly starts to change.
Wait, what do penguins sound like?
Me. Remember when the video of the penguin that falls? That's it. When the one falls and the others are like,
Oh yeah! And he gets up like, nah. It's so great.
You okay, dude? Hey, buddy, you okay?
Now the rest of them are like, oh shit! And that one just
Bro!
gets up and is like, oh god!
It's just a little chorus of harmonious.
Oh, just all of that sound of dismay that comes from all the little penguins.
That's one of my all-time favorite videos on the internet, and it
Oh,
always
so good.
will be.
You can tell he just
I'm
is like,
declaring.
son of a bitch.
Damn it!
No one had my back, really?
Yeah,
No one?
None of you. None of you.
Sorry, bro.
Next time.
What could they do?
What are they gonna do? They're penguins. They're like,
Yeah, how are they gonna catch him?
Yeah.
Penguins don't do trust falls. That's not
Well,
what they do.
one of my favorite ones too was the penguin jumping across rocks. Then it jumps on a big old elephant seal that's going. It like pops up and it goes running away with its little wings all flapping.
My bad.
Are they not? Oh.
or as
fuck yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch calls them, penguins.
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 Penguin.
Penguins. Penguins.
Yeah, you think fucking
Penguins.
Doctor Strange could
No.
cast a spell of pronouncing that shit correctly?
Can't do it. He can't do it.
Penguins.
Yeah.
I'm Benedict Cumberbatch. Penguins.
Or did you hear him call them penglings at one point? It was like, dude.
There's an L,
Come on.
and he knows he did it.
Yeah.
He knows he did it, and now he's like, I don't know what
He's like,
happened.
look, we're all just doing voiceover. Let's just grab a few drinks. Like, it's fine. I'll just
He's in
try
the
to
booth, and he's like, and then the penguins. the penguins.
The pengalang.
I'm Benedict Cumberbatch.
On time. He looks like Kif Kroker from Futurama with better hair.
Yeah.
He does.
God damn it. Okay, anyway.
And
this
we're
seriously, this is some of the most fun I've had doing this. This is ridiculous. Okay, anyway. The penguin looks down, clucking contentedly. His expression suddenly starts to change. Angle on lake, his POV. Slowly re-emerging on the surface of the lake, the Batmobile. Its roaring turbine engines propel it forward, now supported by 2 hydrofoil pontoons. That's just fun to say. Hydrofoil pontoons.
There's 2 of
The
them.
makeshift craft speeds over the water at speedboat velocity.
Which is like, what, 30 miles per hour?
Sure. The Batmobile reaches shore, churning up chunks of mud as the pontoons contract and the car bounces onto the park road. The protective blue light has been extinguished. From either side, 2 hood cars approach, machine guns blazing. Batman swerves the Batmobile onto the grass, roars cross-country toward a park exit as the hail of bullets begins to make cracks across its protective dome. Angle on park exit and street. The Batmobile speeds out into the street. 1 hood car is in hot pursuit. The other exits the park a block ahead and roars at the Batmobile from the other direction. Interior Batmobile night. Silver looks over at Batman, trembling as more bullets chunk into the car dome, weakening it further.
Listen, it was nice of you to offer to take me home. He actually didn't offer. I put myself on him, but we'll just ignore that. Listen, it was nice of you to offer to take me home, but maybe I'd better grab a cab.
Like, I'm out.
Bit late for that shit.
Stop now, right?
It's a bit late for that shit.
You stupid bitch.
Oh my God.
Is guaranteed. Don't lie.
I'm just saying, she sort of forced herself into
She was
this
like, how
situation.
about the Batman takes me home? She's like, oh, well, you offered.
No, I know it was really nice that. Yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
Super nice that you offered. Oh, wait, you didn't, but we're just gonna pretend.
Just get me out of here.
Batman, this is your fault. You dragged me into this.
Yeah, I know. Imagine, like, aside...
I'm an innocent bystander.
Like,
Nothing has
like he's
ever
gonna be
hurt
like
Boston.
pulling over, and then she's gonna get out, and they're like, "Oh, we're good."
One
All right,
second.
just yeah.
She's just hopping out, guys. One second.
Just a yellow cat.
Time's out. Time's out on tag.
Yeah.
Time's out on tag.
With your little chase.
You can't shoot me. I call times.
Guys, it's safe space.
Time out, guys. I want time
Call
out.
time, boys. Call time. Time to stop.
Oh, the penguins. Okay.
Exterior street night. The Batmobile is about to become a sandwich as Batman suddenly squeals a vehicle into a parking building. The hood cars do respective 180s and follow suit. Interior parking building night. The Batmobile roars around hairpin turns, ascending the levels of the parking building like a sports car. Well, isn't it?
I mean, it is. Yeah.
But
I mean,
no, but yes.
It's a,
But like an even faster sports car.
it's a jet car.
Yeah. I mean,
Because it
holy
literally
shit.
has jet engine,
Literally
like
jet
turbines on it.
It's a fucking jet with wheels. Yeah.
So does
And
it,
a force
do they
field.
just-
And a
yeah.
force
And a
And
magnet.
And hydrofoil pontoons.
Pontoons. And a great big old magnet
Yes, the
just in the
ultimate dynamic
trunk.
vehicle.
Yeah, push
Yeah,
your
I'm
magnet.
waiting for it to like wings to pop out,
Yeah.
or it also turns into a motorcycle like in part
yeah.
2. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotta happen now.
Yeah.
The hood cars screech after him, gaining speed. They pursue Batman higher and higher, threading the narrow openings through the lines of parked cars, tearing off side mirrors, doors, and fenders on their way by. Angle on higher level. The Batmobile, reaching the level just under the roof, squeals around a corner, catches the fender of a parked car, and spins out of control. Batman slams on the brakes as the Batmobile skids and turns to face the 2 hood cars, which have stopped so that they are completely blocking off the exit ramps, up and down. The occupants stare in amazement as the Batmobile suddenly roars at them.
Oh golly.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, no. Interior Batmobile night. Batman's jaw sets as he looks forward. Angle through windshield. A sign at the bottom of a narrow ramp leading to the roof screams in red letters, "Wrong way. Do not enter. Severe tire damage."
No,
Oh, no. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. No.
Not so for you.
Sure. Back to parking level. The Batmobile shoots up the wrong way ramp, close of metal teeth. As the Batmobile's tires make contact with the viciously protruding metal teeth, all 4 tires blow. The vehicle roars on, flubba-dubbing up toward the roof.
Dubbing.
That describes it perfectly, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what
It says flubba-dubbing.
Yep. Flubba-dubbing. Flubba-dub, flubba-dubbing. All right. Exterior roof. Yeah, you were feeling it. Exterior roof. Night. The Batmobile exits onto the roof as the two hood cars appearing from the proper ramp fan out to flank it. Angle of Penguin in air. The Penguin takes up a position in midair just above and past the roof, clucking with glee as he sees the Batman is hopelessly trapped. Back to roof. The two hood cars close in on the Batmobile from either side. Batman is running out of room. Back to... Oh, yeah, okay. Interior Batmobile night. Silver looks through the windshield in despair. Angle through windshield. The edge of the roof looms up rapidly.
Oh my God!
She looks over at Batman, whose jaw suddenly twitches. Extreme close on Silver. She's seen his jaw twitch. She stares in disbelief, realizing the implications.
Oh my God!
Hang on. Batman presses a red button. Extreme close on exhaust. The Batmobile's twin turbine engines explode with a white flame. Jet propels afterburners ignite. Wider angle. The Batmobile has reached the edge of the roof, now launches itself into space in an upwards arc. The two hood cars are unable to cope with the sudden void between them and crash head-on with a sickening crunch. Angle on Penguin in midair. Staring in total shock. Frozen in midair as the Batmobile arcs up towards him. Interior, Batmobile, night. The figure of the Penguin grows rapidly larger through the windshield. Batman honks at him.
He's gonna run over a penguin.
all his Confederates go. And he goes.
Oh my God!
Holy shit!
This is cute.
Yep. Honestly, this seriously is better than some of the shit scripts we read.
It's true.
Yeah, there's a lot that I like.
This one's a little porny. It's a little porny, but
very
this is
much so.
actually quite adorable.
Yeah. There's good child moments here.
It's adorable. Penguins flying through the air.
Don't hit me, no.
We might be making it adorable, though.
We might.
Very true.
Because
Could have been very
it's
serious.
because we're adorable.
It's true.
I mean,
All of us here.
I honestly
We're
can't
cuties.
think of anything more entertaining than like a movie with sex and penguins.
Right?
Not at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I smell sex and penguins.
Oh, God.
Fucking man.
Batman does fuck
that is
weird.
Quite enough of that.
Enough of that.
Oh, God.
So he honks
We
at
went down a
him.
dark
He honks.
Back to midair. The Penguin takes a panicked last-second evasive action, diving low as the Batmobile streaks by. The white-hot turbine flames from the vehicle's exhaust crease the top of his umbrella-copter's whirling ribs, melting them into disfigured curlicues. That's not how it's spelled, but that's okay.
That's okay, but I'm glad you knew what it was.
Yeah. Curlex.
It's
Into disfigured curlex.
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 The French version. The Curlex.
Penguin looks up in despair as his umbrella copter begins to spin out of control. He gives a bird-like screech. Everybody's trying. We'll figure it out eventually.
I don't know what they
We're
sound
gonna
like.
find it. Eleanor, do your best bird screech. Do it.
There we go.
Yeah,
There it
that was it.
There it
That's
is.
how this sounds like.
Then it zigzags helplessly through the air. Back to Batmobile. The sleek vehicle completes its downward arc through the air and lands on the roof of the building across the street. Exterior Gotham sky. The Penguin cartwheels end over end through the air, his umbrella copter sputtering.
This is precious.
Interior, rich apartment, night. Dozens of guests surround a lavishly decorated banquet table in an expensive apartment. A bar mitzvah celebration is in progress. Idle, diddle, deedle, diddle. A proud father puts a loving arm around his 13-year-old son.
You're dead now.
Who's the father?
Yeah, who's father?
Sorry. Where are
Is
we?
it you?
Okay.
Oh, and so Marvin, in this special of all days, your mother and I have prepared a big surprise for you.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Good. It's fine.
I got it,
It's
yeah.
fine.
I couldn't do Bar Mitzvah E. Wait, let's do that again. Second take. Someone else do it.
Okay, all
Second
right.
take.
Okay, I got it.
You got one?
Okay, yeah. And so, Marvin, on this most special of all days, your mother and I have prepared a big surprise for you.
That's better.
good.
There
I
we go.
literally had a coworker who had Zoidberg voice, and he was like, "Hey, how's it going there, Robert?" And he's like, "Oh, not too bad, buddy. How you doing today?" He wasn't Jewish. He just
That's
had that
amazing.
voice.
That's
It was
wonderful.
yeah. It was utterly yeah.
Good for
it was
him.
it was cool,
Zoidberg.
and he was such a positive, cool guy. Anyway. Angle on side of apartment building. The spinning rudderless penguin careens through an open window on the side of the apartment building. Interior apartment night. The penguin crash lands on the end of the banquet table, sending food and guests flying everywhere as he skids along, clearing it, finally splattering to a stop through an enormous pile of chicken livers into a mountain of cracked ice under a banner reading, "Today you are a man." Fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
This
proud of
might
Penguin.
be, honestly, this is a cute movie.
is cute.
This is fantastic.
Adorable way too fast.
Like it was weird before, but now it's just adorable.
The stunned guests hesitate a moment, then burst into wild, unrestrained applause.
This is the best bar mitzvah I've ever been to.
Oh god damn it! That is like my favorite part of this entire movie thus far. Thank you.
Oh, rich people. White people. White people.
Oh. Exterior roof night. The Batmobile sits parked on the roof where it landed. Interior Batmobile night. Batman looks over at Silver, who has fainted dead away. She murmurs as he gently prods her. Miss St. Cloud. Miss St. Cloud? Silver's eyes flutter open, trying to regain focus. May I take you home now?
And then it became
Interior, Silver's hallway, night. Batman and Silver stop at her apartment door. She smiles at him through smeared elevator cable grease. What? Oh, yeah.
on her
yeah.
face.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, God, and she's all
everywhere. Yeah.
like in fucking half blackface through the entire...
which is fine. That's fine.
Look at
That's-
all my mascara moving.
That's
around.
totally
It's
fine. She literally just is covered in green.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like a diagonal.
Yeah.
It's a warp.
Bleh. Looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Predator.
Pretty
Just
much.
Elevator cable grease.
Ready.
Just so gross. Just big
Take me
dollop.
now.
She smiles. And just,
It's like dripping. Anyway.
I'm very sorry for tonight. You must have been terrified.
Sorry, I just read ahead and I'm disappointed.
Well, I've thought of a way you can make it up to me.
Your penis.
I was gonna say, you hear the sound of elevator cable grease over his bat cod piece. Just it just shows their faces looking at each other. Neither of them changing expressions. Just we are the worst. And again,
acting out the
I seriously hope, viewers, that you're having as much fun watching this as we're having reading it.
I'm acting out the next part. Go ahead and read it. Read
Okay.
it.
No, yeah, keep
Batman looks at her curiously. She suddenly kisses him deeply. He allows it, unwilling or unable to pull away.
Consent! Consent, Silver! No, this is unacceptable.
Close
Inappropriate.
up. Silver's
Consent.
eyes open.
Hero,
She
just
knows,
accepting it.
or thinks she does. They break. Silver smiles mysteriously, with
I've been waiting
elevator cable
so
grease smeared across her teeth. Whistles under her breath,
Whistles?
enters her apartment.
so long now.
Oh boy.
And it's so
And if you feel the way that I feel, then come on, little chum. All right, anyway. Interior, Silver's apartment night. She leans against the door, sighs. Could it be true? Back to Batman. On the other side of the door, worried. Does she know? Interior, TV studio
She
day.
knows what the inside of your mouth feels like,
yeah.
so she knows.
Oh yeah. It's Batman Cloaks.
Bad braces.
Invisalign.
Bad Invisalign. She comes out with them in her teeth like... He's like, those things seriously cost like 10 grand. Could you
you
please
not- could
just
you-
give them
I-
back
Sorry.
to me? No, I'm not going to be giving them back to you.
I'm keeping it. Keeping it. Keeping it forever. I'm keeping it forever.
Cut.
Betsy and Brucey.
So gross.
Woo.
What is wrong with us?
So, how much time do you have?
Yeah, right?
So
Yeah.
many things.
Interior TV studio day. The quiz show, The Joker is Wild. Broadcast for a live audience. A contestant stands by 3 large video panels in the shape of a slot machine. Who's Jack Barry?
Y'all. Oh wait. Is that you? Is that-
don't think that's
Okay.
Oh, you do it.
All right, Otto. You got $2,000. Spin the wheel.
Otto pulls a lever. The first panel screen lights up.
Joker.
Next panel,
Joker.
Next panel.
And Joker!
A burst of machine gun fire riddles the third panel to
my
shreds.
God.
Wow! I would totally be on this
Yes.
fucking show. All right, anyway. Stepping through it, the Joker. An armed gang rushes in after him, holds Jack Barry and the audience at bay. The Joker steps to center stage.
Good evening, ladies and germs. I just flew in from Lost Wages, Nevada. And boy, are my arms tired.
He giggles. There is a stony silence from the audience.
Give me a break, folks. I'm a veteran. Man walks into a bar, says, "Have you got any wild turkey?" Bartender says, "No, but I can get a tame one and irritate it for you."
If it was an entire audience, they all go, "Hey!" That would be the best.
I was so sold with that.
Heyo! Heyo! Yeah.
He roars. The audience stares back. His eyes narrow.
But I digress. You see, I'm in the process of developing a new series of killings. All original, all different. Believe me, folks, you're gonna die laughing. And there's only one man who can cancel my little show, the Batman. Because from now on, each time he appears in public, every time he's seen anywhere, one prominent citizen of Gotham will die. I'm tired of fighting you, Batman, so the people are going to do it for me. Either you lose, or they do.
Interior Wayne Manor's study, night. Camera close on a television screen. The crackling face of the Joker disappears. Bruce flips off a VCR, looks over at a worried Alfred. Bruce hits the cancel button on his Betamax. Takes out the tape that's the size of a fucking pizza. Yeah. All right. I'm on the cutting edge.
Oh, God.
Bruce, oh yeah. When did you tape this?
Not quite an hour ago.
Bruce rises, begins to pace.
Why can't you do what he did, sir? Go on television as the Batman and explain your case to the people.
And risk having an innocent human being murdered for my sake? I can't chance it. Bruce turns away in disgust, his mind racing.
Well, perhaps a night on the town as Bruce Wayne might be therapeutic for you after all. You do have tickets for the gala opening of the opera. I was planning on using one myself, but if you prefer a more lively and decorative companion, I quite understand.
You know what? It's been so long.
At least they know. At least they say that women are decorative in this. They don't deny that they're sexist. Let's be honest. That's one step forward.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, yeah, acknowledging is the first
Acknowledgement is the first step.
God damn it. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Just
If
read
you
it.
were looking for some total hot piece of arm candy, sir, might I point you in the direction of... Yeah, right?
Fucking A.
Do you like candy?
That's how they're kind of fucking doing it. None of us are okay with this.
Right.
Yeah.
A decorative lamp with,
Yeah.
with a hole
A
in
lampshade with titties, sir. Might I direct
it. May
you?
I recommend you?
Nice leggings there.
It's got lots of holes for you to plug. So.
Oh God!
Oh Jesus!
See,
yeah.
just calling it like
Yeah.
it is, making
Yeah.
the rest of us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I know what I
suppose
said.
That was, yeah.
Carry on.
You know what? It's been so long I can't even think of whom to call anymore.
Not even one name?
Well, maybe just one. Well, maybe just one.
Cue time for the blow-up doll.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Bat boner deploy! Exterior, Gotham Opera House, night. Dozens of shiny limousines.
Get the dick jammer.
Disgorge.
Yeah. Disgorge. Gotham's formerly. Oh, yeah, wait. Oh, I forgot that I have the sexy way of reading it.
Yep.
Do it.
Dozens of shiny limousines disgorge Gotham's formerly dressed elite in front of the Opera House.
Yeah.
Photographers' flashbulbs indicate that it is indeed a gala opening. The billboard marquee advertises, Pagliacci. Camera pans to one arriving limo, and we hear a telephone ringing over the scene. Silver's voice answers it.
Hi, this is Silver. I'm not home right now, but if you'd leave a message at the beep, in quotation marks, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
The limo pulls up to the front of the Opera House. Silver exits in a shimmering evening gown. At the sound of the beep, we see her escort, Rupert Thorne. They make their way inside past a battery of photographers. Interior, Opera House, night. A maze of beautiful people mingles in the lobby, exchanging greetings and appreciative glances. An Army Archerd type comments on the passing parade for local television. Okay, also, just because I'm old and a lot of people might not get that reference, Army Archerd would basically be the celebrity gossip columnist like Perez Hilton, like 30 years ago.
Okay. I was about to do the same thing because I was like, no one knows that reference. Yeah, I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just knew that shit because me am fucking old. Anyway, please.
I'm telling you, they're all here tonight, folks. Newsome twosomes, tiresome twosomes from showbiz, sports, politics. They're a millionaire socialite, Bruce Wayne.
Angle on Bruce, as Bruce makes his way through the throng with Alfred. Back to scene.
And here's a man for all seasons, Gotham City's own councilman, Rupert Thorne.
Thorne slides up to Archerd with a hearty smile. Silver hangs back, suddenly spotting Bruce. Surprised. Close on Bruce, having spotted Silver too, gazing in frustration. Back to Silver. She locks eyes with Bruce as Rupert slides his arm around Army Archerd's shoulder.
I didn't realize you were an opera fan, Councilman.
To tell the truth, I'm not, Army. But any elected official with as many Italian constituents as I have would be darn well advised to give it a try.
Oh, the fuck? This is wonderful. I love this so much. This is so ridiculous. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah, because you were here since the beginning. The Bat 80s were a magical time.
Lot of racism,
Lot
of
of super
sexism,
racism. Yeah.
super racist.
Because you
Super
remember
sexist.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Space 70s, now the bad 80s.
Yep.
Because,
Yeah.
it was a lot of, just because when we were doing the, from episode 1 of this new configuration of Rough Draft Theater, when we were touching back on the, on 1973's The Star Wars, there was so much rampant sexism, racism, all sorts of terrible shit.
It was appalling.
Yeah, that our former catchphrase for that used to be that the Space 70s were a magical time.
Whew, okay.
Yeah.
And it's true.
'Cause-
Magical.
It's strong. It's real strong there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rupert,
All right, then.
now that we've killed the fucking mood,
Well,
Rupert laughs heartily as suddenly a huge commotion is heard outside. Muffled gasps give way to frantic murmurs, then local silence as
What's-
the Batman appears in the doorway.
What?
Rupert stares wide-eyed. Archerd blinks in disbelief as the crowd parts and Batman enters the lobby. Close on Bruce. Frozen. He exchanges an incredulous glance with Alfred. Close on Silver. Totally taken aback. Her gaze flicks from Bruce to Batman to Bruce to Batman like someone watching a tennis match. Angle on Gordon at top of stairs. Gordon stands in a group at the top of the stairs to the mezzanine, looking down in dismay. Back to scene. The Batman joins Rupert and Archerd at the microphone with a cold and distant air. His resemblance to Bruce is uncanny. Archerd swallows nervously.
you're taking quite a chance showing up in public like this, aren't you, Batman?
The way I see it, we're all taking quite the chance if we let a sick criminal mind like the Joker paralyze this entire community with fear. An angry muttering is heard from within the crowd.
Mutter.
Sure, he's not the one who's going to get killed.
Grumble.
Batman's head snaps around angrily at the remark. Step forward and say that to my face, if you've got the guts. The crowd hangs back, confused and frightened. More angry muttering is heard, now mixed in with boos.
Boo! Get him out of here!
Go home, Batman!
Boo! I say boo!
The boos grow louder and defiant. As Gordon hurries to the fake Batman's side and Thorne smiles thinly at the imposter.
It seems you're not exactly the people's choice anymore, Batman.
Oh, wait, where am I? What? Oh, what's this? I got lost. Come on. Let me get you out of here before these gentle people tear you up in pieces.
This is really good. It's really good.
Gordon leads a reluctant Batman away through the jeering crowd. Bruce watches in horror with Alfred as the taunts continue.
Cheer!
Leave us alone!
Cheer!
I'm not getting killed for you.
Cheer!
A rather cruel sort of joke, wouldn't you say?
And I don't think we've heard the punchline yet. Gordon appears in the doorway, raises his arms to quiet the panicking crowd.
So settle down, folks. Take it easy now. I've got the police and the city on their way over here. So if you'll just take your seats.
Is he crazy?
Let's get out of here.
Wait!
There is a hush. A stern-faced Thorn plays to his audience for all he's worth.
What the Batman just did was inexcusable, perhaps even criminal. But he's right about one thing. No cheap hoodlum is going to intimidate Rupert Thorne while I still have the saliva to spit on him. My ticket says seat E6, and that's where I'm parking my keister for the next few hours. And I call upon His Honor, the Mayor, to join me in the audience.
The crowd looks over to the side of the lobby. Gotham's mayor emerges from a group of onlookers. A gray-haired man who is visibly terrified, but he swallows hard. Onlookers.
Councilman Thorne is right. Of course. And I expect every other decent citizen of Gotham City to stand up and be counted.
The mayor silently starts up the stairs to the mezzanine. After a beat, Thorne theatrically extends his arm to Silver, who hesitates, then reluctantly joins him.
Okay.
They start for the orchestra section as others in the crowd begin to follow. Close on Bruce, watching Silver disappear. His jaw twitches. Interior opera mezzanine, night. Bruce and Alfred head for their box. The mayor approaches from the other direction, now escorted by Gordon and a phalanx of police. The mayor sees Bruce and stops to shake hands. Mayor?
Oh, it's good if you stay, Bruce.
You've made a courageous decision, Your Honor. I hope it's the right one. The mayor nods grimly, enters his box. The police form a guard by the door. Interior, Bruce's box, night. As Bruce and Alfred enter, Gordon stands in their box, a radio receiver in their ear. A loud ovation is heard from outside the box, since apparently they really seem to like saying box over and over.
They love the box.
Wide shot, audience, not in the box. The audience is on its feet, facing away from the stage, applauding the mayor in his box. The mayor lifts his arms in a victory salute. The applause dies down. The lights dim. The overture to I Pagliacci is heard off screen. Camera rises past the mayor, keep doing that, and his party to the hanging chandelier directly above him. The fixture consists of huge crystal teardrops. Extreme close on chandelier. Everybody needs to do that.
Everyone sing opera, go.
Sing any opera, just make them sound.
One of the crystals is filled with a clear liquid. Back to Bruce. Bruce and Alfred settle into their chairs. Gordon mumbles into his radio receiver, ever watchful. This is so much better this way with everyone.
Putting some setting into this.
Yep. Oh, too much fucking ambiance.
So much ambiance, we can't continue.
Dissolved through, 2. Interior opera house. Angle on stage. The leading man, Canio, dressed as a clown, sings the aria Vesti la Juba, a passionate, sad piece. He kneels in front of a large, gaily painted drum. Angle on Bruce. Alfred nods off in his chair. Bruce elbows him gently. Back to Canio. Approaching the high point of the aria. With a magnificent voice, he reaches for a high C, hits it strongly and purely, holds on to the note. Angle on Mayor's box. The mayor and his party exchange impressed glances. That'd be great if he just fucking blew it. Wait, wait, just a moment. And they were like, oh no, just one more moment, please. I beg your...
I sing a good.
I beg your indulgence.
One more second, just to breathe.
Somebody bring Canio a hot tea. I need the chamomile.
I need a throat Dakota.
Weren't we making fun of the racism happening before, and now we're all...
We would never
No.
do that.
Okay.
Never.
We're not being racist. I know what I said.
Just the chuckle. That's great. Okay, anyway.
I don't know where we are.
They exchanged impressed glances.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Camera pushes in on the chandelier teardrop. It trembles from the force of the high C, now cracks. The liquid drips down into the box. Back to stage. The sad aria is ending. Canio is on his knees, sobbing. He sings pianissimo, milking every heartbreaking second. Suddenly, off screen, a chuckle. Then the sound of laughter. Canillo peers angrily into the audience. Angle on audience, confused, then irritated as the laughter grows louder. Angle on mayor's box. The mayor and his party guffaw loudly, pounding their chairs in glee. Angle on Bruce. Bruce rises from his seat, concerned. Back to mayor. Tears of laughter stream down the mayor's cheeks. He's on his feet now, totally out of control. The others flop over their chairs, roaring helplessly. Back to Canillo. He walks off the stage in disgust. Back to mayor's box. With a sudden final burst of insane giggling, all four men collapse. The mayor hangs over the edge of his box, dead, a grotesque grin frozen on his face. Angle on audience, gasping, panicking as... Angle on stage.
I mean, oh my!
Oh my!
I think I shit myself.
Angle on stage.
God damn it.
The huge clown drum suddenly rips apart from the center. The Joker steps out, dressed as an obese soprano.
Wait, the opera's not over till the fat lady sings.
The Joker hits his own version of a high C as...
Open fire!
The lights go out. Gunfire and screaming are heard in the darkness. Total pandemonium. Insert shot Gotham Tribune. The Gotham Tribune cartwheels into frame. Clown Prince of Crime makes good on boast. Rupert Thorne appointed acting mayor. In the center of the page, a large photograph of the Batman with the caption, "A killer?" Well, you see the way it says it there. Interior Batcave, wide angle, day. Bruce paces dejectedly, a tiny figure lost in the vastness of the enormous cavern. Angle from stairs. Alfred watches sadly from the top of the stairs. Back to Bruce, still pacing, thinking. He passes the huge crime computer, pauses, looks down, punches some keys. Angle on... Fucking... I'll show you. I'll show all of you.
Why?
Why doesn't she like me anymore?
I'm so sad. Why? Angle on computer screen. A series of criminal mugshots flashes across the screen. Lawbreakers of every variety finally stopping at the face of the Joker, grinning down menacingly. Back to Bruce, staring back, face set, jaw twitching. The screen suddenly goes blank, wider angle. Alfred has turned off the computer. Bruce stares numbly.
Sir, perhaps this isn't the only way. Perhaps this is all meant to signal a new beginning for you. After all, you're an intelligent, enterprising young man with every capability in the world to...
Bruce puts his hand on Alfred's shoulder. I know you love me very much, and I'm deeply grateful, but I wish you'd get out of here now and leave me alone.
Damn.
Oh man, this is a very Brokeback Mountain moment.
Yep.
Who's gonna? Yeah.
Tell your story walking. Alfred pauses, then nods, walks off dejectedly. Clothes on.
Clothes on.
Clothes on, Bruce.
I can't. Put your pants back on.
I can't.
I'm so sad.
Just
I can't
boots.
wear pants.
Just boots and my utility belt.
I thought this was
That's
my
all.
Bat Cave.
Just letting it out. Just letting it breathe.
Just airing the boys out. That's what I do.
Oh, well, my gosh. Okay.
And we're back.
And we're back. He wanders through the cave with glassy eyes, passing a table near the Batmobile. On it, a new version of the battering ram. Bruce picks it up, smiles bitterly, carries it in one hand as he continues to wander, passing the crime lab section. Suddenly, he lashes out, sends the battering ram flying through a set of glass beakers filled with chemicals. Swinging it wildly now, he destroys a section of the crime lab, then sinks heavily into a chair, head bowed. Extreme wide angle, the cavernous Batcave, the tiny, slumped figure of Bruce. He's so tiny. When nobody knew, he was like 4'3".
I am the Batman.
I'm the Batman. I'm gonna solve your crimes, Joker.
Got this, Joker.
And we're making fun of little people now.
Oh dear.
Exterior Wayne Manor, wide angle, day. The hot noonday sun drenches the spacious grounds of Wayne Manor. Seen running along a track cut on the periphery of the estate, the solitary figure of Bruce Wayne. Interior Wayne Manor living room, Day. Alfred watches from the window, concerned as off-screen the telephone starts to ring. Exterior, running track, day. Camera close on Bruce's grimly determined face, oblivious to the rivulets of sweat which pour down freely. His body is encased in several layers of exercise clothes, deeply stained by perspiration, that turn him into a human pressure cooker. His legs churn like dissociated pistons.
Stay sexy. Stay sexy.
Change your shirt, dude. Damn.
Oh, it's like a bat jungle down here. Back to Alfred. The telephone continues to ring. Alfred turns, still distracted by the sight of Bruce, and answers it.
Mr. Wayne's residence. I'm sorry, he's not available. No, as I told you previously, I don't know when that would be. But if you'd care to leave another message...
Interior, City Hall office, day. Camera closed on the door to an inner office marked Special Assistant to the Mayor, private. The door opens as Silver exits into her outer office, followed by several needy-looking constituents.
I'll take it up with Mayor Thorne. Gotham needs an effective network of daycare centres, and tomorrow night's charity opening of the circus seems like a good place to start.
The constituents thank her profusely. Silver crosses to her secretary's desk with a hopeful look.
Any luck?
Oh, that was not on my list. All right. Nada, Mr. Wayne seems to be permanently unavailable.
Exterior, Wayne Manor night. Wayne Manor seems deserted under the glow of the moon. Angle on Bruce in pool. The Olympic-sized Wayne Manor swimming pool is illuminated by the glow of outdoor lights. In it, Bruce swims laps, knifing through the water with powerful strokes. It's just him stabbing the water with a big knife. Sadly.
So sad.
That's him like swimming like with knives.
Almost like the shark.
Downward stroke.
As Alfred's like, I really worry about you, sir.
You sure you're not dating a concern?
Why?
You sure you don't want to
Mr.
go?
Wayne, that's not how people swim. What are you doing?
Do you remember Janine, your swim coach? No? All right then.
Exterior pool. Close on Bruce. Night. Bruce churns through the water. Eyes glazed with a total single-mindedness. His speed is Olympian. As he tilts his head to take another gulp of air, he suddenly stops dead in the water as he sees... Angle on Silver, his POV. Silver emerges from the darkness, her glistening hair cascading down over an evening dress. She carries a wooden tray with 2 glasses of champagne on it, smiles as she faces a stunned Bruce, who stands waist-high in the water.
You know, Bruce, you simply must pick up your phone messages.
If I did, what would they say?
That we were supposed to have dinner tonight.
Silver smiles, kicks off her shoes.
For some strange reason, I thought you might suddenly have an evening free.
Silver, look, I hope you won't misunderstand what I'm about to say.
There aren't going to be any more misunderstandings between us, Bruce. And I warn you.
Silver slowly and calmly begins walking down the steps into the pool, carrying the tray with her. The water rises above the hemline of her evening dress, heading up for her waist. As she advances toward, as astonished Bruce.
I just want budget Bruce.
This right good.
Yes, words and big.
This sexy words.
Oh, not it. Just me.
I can be a very determined person.
Silver arrives at Bruce, the water now up to her chest, letting the wooden tray with the champagne float on the surface next to them. She hands him a glass, takes the other herself, raises it, stares deeply into his eyes.
To no more misunderstandings.
Bruce smiles in spite of himself, tosses back his champagne over his shoulder.
No, it's actual
And
Bruce.
studies her
Venus is coming
unwavering
later.
gaze carefully. Right?
Oh, thank you.
I don't fucking drink.
Another! Okay.
Smashes it. You fucking cut me!
You fucking cunt!
Just prick!
I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you, Bruce!
She smashes a bottle and goes at him.
Right in the neck.
And then it just pans away. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the run. We're just saying. Anyway,
It's been a week.
Okay. Where are we? I didn't know. Flipping the cards a bit of
He suddenly pulls her toward him, locking her in a passionate, hungry kiss.
Arr.
They finally break. Silver purrs.
Purr.
Whispers into his ear.
There. See what I mean about misunderstandings.
No. What?
Well, just now, a moment ago, I thought you were being rude, not getting out of the pool to say hello. Looks down, grins. I didn't realize you weren't wearing a bathing suit.
What the fuck?
Yeah. She's got an evening gown on, and he is in the nude.
Yeah, don't you think we would have kind of noticed that at some point?
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Alfred would be used to it. Though.
Doesn't that make it even weirder that he's stabbing the wall?
Dicks just flop in, just
He's
like
just got the cowl on. Just completely naked. Alfred is. That boy isn't right. I'm terribly sorry.
she's just in a dress, and she's like, "Oh, look, it's your penis." There it is.
It's your Tennessee tallywhacker.
It's right
You
there.
just dragged it out for me.
It's right there. Oh, look at that. Oh. Is that your twigging berries I see down there? Oh, I think it is. Oh, hello.
Well, hello. Nice to see you. Nice.
Oh, and okay, moving right along. So, just speaking about your dick there, okay.
About your old todger.
and
God
smiled.
damn it. All right, anyway. Yeah, that was completely unnecessary.
She rolls over.
And I don't mean what we're doing.
No.
Us making fun of this was totally necessary.
That was necessary.
Just Batman having his dick out.
I didn't.
Just swim in his
close.
Olympic-sized
Like ever.
pool naked.
Has there
Yeah.
ever, like, yeah.
It's his pool. He can.
None of us have that much money to to have a pool.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
much
guess-
less
If I
swim
had my
naked
own
in it
pool.
lit
If
up.
I
had my own
could.
pool, like on my own mansion, I'd probably swim in it naked.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
sounds
if
like
you
that
own
would
a
be
mansion,
nice.
you got to
Yeah.
own like, a
Not
good
with
amount of like
knives,
anchorage or like
Yeah, there's probably
Well, I'm
tall,
not that bad.
That's
I
a
don't
good
do
point.
anything.
You made a
tall
good point.
shrubberies and whatnot, and yes.
It's logical.
Anyway, interior, Bruce's bedroom,
Christ.
night. Bruce lies naked under powder blue silk sheets. Why would they even need to, like, mention this?
Because we can see his
I mean,
dick
they will
outline.
tell-
Yeah, it's the dick outline and the
Okay.
silkiness of it.
And I actually appreciate
Wait,
that
the
there's sort
sheets
of
are
nudity,
silky.
male nudity
Still,
here.
though, like,
I
you
appreciate
probably
it.
should've-
Alright,
They
okay.
I appreciate.
told set deck about the blue sheets, but they
sheets,
didn't
yeah.
tell the costumer
No.
about the lack of
No,
costume.
so there's just
Yeah.
bat
That-
dick
that-
right
that's
there.
just- they
It's
just
right
dropped
there.
the ball
Yeah,
here.
it's bad dick. It's shaped
Bad dick.
Shaped like a bat.
Oh, that just got
Barf.
weird.
Jesus Christ.
Barf.
A
Okay.
lovely hand comes into frame, gently strokes his cheek.
His face cheek or
ass
his...
No, his ass cheek.
Okay, just checking.
He's laying there on the side. They always show women in movies. That's how you can tell.
Okay, now I really like this movie actually.
like one of your French girls.
Oh, and I'm off screen. Oh, okay. When I think of
Smack.
No, I'm gently caressing it. Read the script.
All right.
When I think of how many nights I've reached across an empty pillow, hoping my hand would find that face or that arse, whichever. It's whatever.
Then, a shining mane of hair, a silver, also naked, wraps him up in a tight embrace. They kiss. There's so much to explain,
It could have been his ass.
and I'm not quite sure I ever can.
I don't need explanations. I just want whatever it was to evaporate, to simply disappear.
Hey, she said to simple disappear.
She sure did, and I fixed it because I wasn't paying attention. To simple disappear.
That actually sounds a bit more Scottish, doesn't it?
To simple disappear.
disappear.
It's how we say it in Scotland.
Turns out she's not Scottish.
No, never was.
Nope.
She's Russian.
Yep.
Yeah, she's Russian this whole entire time.
To disappear,
She's
simple.
Sir rolls over, looks at him carefully. A police siren is heard fatally in distance. Bruce blinks.
Did you ever meet him?
Who?
The Batman. Every time I hear a siren, I think of the Batman.
I ran into him a few times, here and there. Silver smiles down tenderly, studying him.
You know, that night at the opera, I never believed that the real Batman would show up like that in public. Not when he knew someone else's life was on the line.
You're right. He wouldn't. Bruce suddenly breaks eye contact, unsure if she thinks she's talking about Batman or to Batman. You met him too one night, didn't you? Commissioner Gordon told me he took you home or something. Commissar.
something.
He's Commissar
Commissar
Gordon.
Gordon.
I like that or something. Took you home or something.
Took you home or something.
Oh, yes.
Commissar Gordon told me he took you home or something.
Or something. What can I say? He was dashing, resourceful, strong, very sweet in his own special way. All the things you'd expect from the Batman. Okay. The next morning I told Rupert I'd fallen madly in love with him.
With Batman or Rupert? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. One or the other, whatever.
You don't say.
Loves everyone.
And what's more, I told Rupert I was sure that the Batman had fallen in love with me.
They look deeply into each other's eyes. Silver smiles. I think I'm jealous.
I think I'm in love.
They wrap themselves in each other passionately. Just like twining up around each other and shit.
Like a...
It's a very snake-like.
From it, yeah, like when snakes do it, yeah.
Like that.
This is like one arm's like this. It's like
From a forgotten alcove of the bedroom, Alfred films the scene.
Oh god.
and the secret campus.
Oh, well done, sir.
Good show.
Oh, snap.
It's just like...
Just
One day when there's an internet, I'll put this on it.
There's an internet.
I think I shall call it Batman Copulates Oddly.
If you're playing at home, you've won the game.
Exterior, Gotham Circus grounds, night. A billboard, the greatest show on earth, featuring the Flying Graysons.
Robin.
All new spectacular extravaganza, the glory that was Rome. Past the billboard is a maze of smaller tents for sideshows, the housing of animals, etc. Past the big top itself. Camera pans the arriving spectators, Bruce and Silver among them. They're surrounded by mothers and children.
But no dads.
It's
No.
almost immoral, you know,
No.
going to the circus without bringing your own children along.
Don't worry, I've made plans for the next time.
Bruce looks over, alarmed. Silver grins.
Lighten up. My sister has 2 kids. Stupid. Do you think I don't have birth control? Fuck off.
Well, it shouldn't be your responsibility.
That's very diplomatic of you.
I
Bruce.
found some water-soluble bat contraceptive.
For the next time we fuck in the pool.
Oh yeah, or shall I say, oh I.
Oh, aye. Woo!
Well, didn't this go in a fucking great direct? All right, anyway. Interior, big top night. A major parade, the glory that was Rome, is filling out. Pretty girls in togas ride elephants. Handsome charioteers drive by. Gladiators with trained bears, etc.
Oh, okay.
Want to? You want to do that?
Sure. Yep. Now I lost where we are. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the glory that was Rome.
Angle on audience. Bruce and Silver sit in the audience applauding. He eats popcorn. She munches on cotton candy. Angle on big top entrance. A dozen clowns of every shape and variety run into the arena, squirting water at each other through toy guns, roughhousing, doing pratfalls, etc., all to the delight of the crowd. Angle into arena from tunnel. Inside an entrance tunnel, camera holds behind the outline of a black cowled head with pointed ears. The head lowers out of frame, then reappears, this time covered by a clown mask. The clown figure hurries out of the tunnel, wearing a floor-length granny dress.
Lengthed.
Huh?
Link.
Yeah, lengthed. Back to arena. Several of the other clowns have dispersed, running up into the audience as a drum roll is heard. The granny clown edges over toward the cage containing the big cats. Back to Bruce and Silver. One clown runs up the aisle past them with what seems to be a bucket of water. Spots Silver, flings the contents of the bucket at her. Bruce and Silver flinch as a shower of confetti blankets them to general laughter and applause.
Now let me direct your attention to the trapeze and high wire. Out stars of the evening.
Outstars.
It says outstars. Outstars of the evening, the Flying Graysons.
Angle on Graysons, a family of aerialists. The older Graysons, trim and athletic, stand on one platform. Their son, Dick, stands on the other. He is in his middle teens, a handsome young man in immaculate physical shape. He takes hold of a trapeze, swings down. Angelon stands. The clown who poured the confetti on Bruce and Silver watches through pancake makeup with more than a passing interest. Protruding from underneath a large, silly hat, we see the edges of a startling green shock of hair. Angelon Dick.
Yeah, that was what it was like 5 minutes ago. Oh, shit. Dick Grayson swings on the trapeze in a long, powerful arc, executes a difficult flip into the arms of his father. By which I mean, he daddy.
Oh, wow. Not where I thought that was going to end.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Getting stronger
Back to Bruce. Remarkable. That young boy is one of the greatest natural aerialists I've ever seen.
Oh, I didn't I can't talk anymore. Oh, I didn't realize you were so familiar with the sport.
Silver gives Bruce a sideways look, which he avoids. Into boys? Into young aerialists.
Into young aerialists.
And now Dick Grayson will attempt to perform the incredible quadruple without a net. He is the only flyer in the world to accomplish this feat.
Angelon Dick.
Hey.
Hey! A drum roll is heard. Dick swings down, picking up momentum, then back up, then down again. On his third pass, he tries it, revolves dizzyingly, making 4 complete somersaults in midair. Note, there is actually only one person in the world who can do this with Ringling Brothers. Like, they...
Neat.
That's,
Cool. Just fun fact.
Yeah. Fun fact. That's how Robin do it.
It is what it is.
Dick completes the impossible feat to wild applause. Angelon Bruce and Silver, on their feet, applauding enthusiastically with the crowd. Angelon Clown, Joker. The clown, Joker, giggles under his breath, lifts one billowing sleeve of his oversized costume, begins to unbutton it.
The Graysons will now perform their world-famous maneuver on the high wire, passing each other and exchanging positions, all without a net.
Back to Bruce and Silver, both starring up, wide-eyed. Angelon Graysons. The older Graysons stand at either end of a high wire some 70 feet off the ground. They each hold a long balancing pole, now start forward toward each other. Angelon Dick. Dick looks up from below, nervous but proud.
Yeah, it does.
The slide.
Say now.
As all the best dicks do.
You know.
Oh, you gotta do it.
Nervous but proud.
Yeah, nervous and proud.
The slightest vibration, the tiniest misstep, could send them both plunging to their death.
And you don't want Dick to plunge.
You want a graceful fall for that one. Hey!
Back to Graysons.
I get it.
Inching forward toward each other along the taut wire, using their balancing poles for support. Angelon Joker. All eyes are riveted on the Graysons. The Joker opens the billowing sleeve of his clown costume, popping out a live falcon.
Sure, why not?
Because that's,
Why not?
like you do.
Sure.
I thought it was
It
flash
hesitates, then takes off. Back to Graysons. They're face to face now, on the wire, preparing to pass each other above the hushed crowd. Suddenly, the falcon flies into view, lands heavily on one end of the male Grayson's pole with a shriek. Who knows who it was that was shrieking? The surprised man teeters. The wire trembles. The falcon suddenly flies at his face. Both Graysons tumble off the wire together, plummet downward. Angelon Dick. As his parents hit the ground heavily in front of him.
His dick falls.
Angelon Bruce and Silver. Silver screams in horror. Bruce stares unbelievingly. Angle near big cat cage. Suddenly, the granny clown standing by the big cat cage rips his mask away. The dress falls to the ground, revealing the Batman. Quick cuts. 1, the crowd gasps. 2, Bruce gapes in disbelief as Silver watches him. 3, Dick Grayson looks over from the bodies of his parents. 4, the Joker grins. Close on Batman. The Batman stares coldly, speaks in an icily clear voice. I've risked my life to help this city. I stood up for what I knew was right because I thought you people were willing to stand with me. Well, now you can pay for your cowardice. Now I don't care how many have to die. Oh, wow. Angelon Bruce and crowd. An angry murmuring rumbles through the crowd.
Stop him!
Don't let him get away.
Angry murmur.
Bruce vaults into the aisle, lunges down the steps after the fake Batman as. Close on Joker. The Joker takes off his huge clown nose, throws it into the arena. A giant smoke bomb. All over the arena, other clowns follow suit. The Big Top has become a scene of impenetrable chaos as the fake Batman opens the door to the Big Cat's cage. Lions, tigers, et al. Bound off their perches for freedom, rushing out of the cage to the screams of the crowd. The fake Batman disappears into an enveloping wall of smoke. Angle on Bruce, knifing his way through the panicked spectators. Just fucking stabbing people.
Slice.
No.
No.
Fuck off.
Stop that.
Go.
No, none of that. Shame on you. Lunging through the smoke after the fake Batman. Angle on Silver. Silver stumbles after Bruce through the pandemonium, reaching the empty cat cage, gasping for breath with teary eyes. Bruce is all she says.
Okay. Bruce!
Back to Bruce. Nearby, spotting her, eyes widening in horror. Silver, look out! Angle on Silver. A huge tiger snarls, preparing to spring at her. It launches itself into midair as Bruce flies at Silver from the other direction, pulling her down to the ground as the enormous cat sails over them, banging its head into the cage bars, knocking itself senseless. Animal abuse. Bruce pulls Silver to her feet, wraps a protective arm around her, leads her off through the smoky panic and confusion. Angle on Dick. Grayson! Dick kneels protectively over the bodies of his parents, oblivious to the insanity around him. Spectators and animals rush past in all directions as he removes his aerialist's cape, then gently covers the faces of his mother and father. Dissolve to exterior circus grounds, night. Oh, also, look at this, folks. We already covered like 40 pages.
Yay!
We've gone further than we have for everything else.
Yep.
Woo!
We're
Fuck
doing
yeah!
it! We're doing it!
Should we end it at this scene after this?
Dissolve to exterior circus grounds, night. Camera looks down on the aftermath. Police cars and ambulances everywhere. Smoke still drifts from the Big Top. Dazed patrons mill around looking for lost family members. Angle near Big Top entrance. Silver emerges from a medical tent marked by a red cross, sporting a heavily bandaged head. She spots Alfred and the Rolls Royce near the entrance to the Big Top. Walks over.
The doctor says no more crap games for a week or so, Alfred. Where's Bruce?
Mr. Wayne wondered if you'd be good enough to let me drive you home.
Drive me.
She looks off into the Big Top. Angle on Bruce, her POV. Bruce stands motionless in the dark shadows at one end of the tent. He stares across the arena. Angle on Dick, Bruce's POV. Dick Grayson sits alone in the corner, head bowed. Back to Bruce. Bruce's eyes are filled with tears. Back to Silver. Silver watches, somehow feeling the deep significance of the moment without the specifics. What?
What?
She turns to Alfred quietly,
common sense?
nods, gets in the car. Interior tent, close on Dick. Dick is slumped, his head still bowed. Tears roll down his cheeks.
Terrible.
Ew. Suddenly, a dark shadow inches across his face.
Almost blacking it out.
Look at
He
it.
looks up. Bruce stands over him, peering down, looking deeply into him with a mesmerizing stare.
What will you do now, son?
I don't know. They were my only family.
He bursts into tears. Bruce grabs him, holds him tightly. I know exactly how you feel, son. You may not believe that, but I do. Bruce gazes down darkly, almost hypnotically, his eyes revealing the truth. Dick looks up slowly, riveted. Suddenly, we hear the sounds of angry murmuring from a crowd, then the rapping of a judge's gavel, silencing them. Interior Gotham Courthouse, day. Camera pans down from the symbol of justice with her scales painted on the Gotham Courthouse ceiling.
One of you.
Oh, I think it was me, actually.
Okay.
I think I'm a judge.
I'm Judge 2.
I'm a judge and you're judge just
Yeah,
I think
you
it's,
take this
it's okay. Harumph, I find you guilty of wanton negligence against society, of knowingly causing the death of an innocent human being.
A black-robed judge reads the verdict to a courthouse full of spectators, but an empty defense table. The witness chair is also empty. Alone at the prosecution table, Rupert Thorne.
Of usurping the authority of those legally sworn in to uphold law and order. The time has come to be rid of you and your reckless vigilantism. Sorry. I couldn't help
Bruce
it.
and Gordon sit in the front row. Bruce's eyes reveal more emotion than he would care to. The judge turns to face the empty witness chair.
Batman, You have been tried in absentia and found guilty of murder. You are sentenced to death.
I was looking at Dick.
Shh. Mayor Thorne.
Thorne rises, pompous and grave.
Your Honor, this is a tragic day in the history of Gotham. A once admired champion of the people has now become a threat to their very existence. A lethal weapon dealing an indiscriminate death. Therefore, to prevent further carnage, I've instructed Commissioner Gordon and his department to bring in the Batman by whatever means necessary.
Thorne sits. The stunned spectators begin to murmur loudly.
Murmur.
I'm
stunned! I am stunned!
the Batman!
Did you know that that...
Killer.
Oh.
Who'd believe it?
I still don't.
Oh, Bruce, I deal in facts. And the simple fact is you're looking at one poor son of a bitch who made the deal with the devil. Oh.
Bruce stares blankly at the witness chair. The judge pounds his gavel for silence. Camera zooms in on the gavel.
Gavel.
Dissolve 2, interior second courtroom, day. Camera pulls back from another gavel wrapping in another courtroom, revealing the face of a more benign judge.
Therefore, by the power invested in this court,
Wider angle. Bruce and Dick Grayson stand facing the judge.
Aww.
I hereby declare Richard Grayson to be the legally designated ward of Mr. Bruce Wayne.
Dad!
And may I add in passing, you're a very fortunate young man.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm aware of that.
I meant...
Bruce turns to Dick. Grins broadly. Exterior Wayne Manor, day. The Rolls-Royce pulls up in front of Wayne Manor. Alfred hurries to open the front doors. Bruce and Dick exit the car. Dick stares up at the sprawling residence in awe. Interior, Wayne Manor, day. As Dick enters with Bruce, the towering hallway of Wayne Manor is filled with balloons and a banner reading, "Welcome home, Dick!" Silver grins down from the staircase. Dick drinks it all in, slightly uneasy and embarrassed. He wanders into the enormous living room, unsure, visually adjusting himself to his new outsized life. That's an outsized Dick. Exterior, Wayne Manor, day. Camera pans across a fully outfitted trapeze and ring set on the lawn of Wayne Manor. Bruce gazes up proudly at it, looks over to Dick for his reaction. Dick looks up at the apparatus somewhat apprehensively, then flashes Bruce a self-conscious smile.
Hard.
Bruce understands, claps a hand on his shoulder, leads him away.
Hard.
Oh yeah. Exterior, poolside, day. Dick lies sunning himself on a chaise by the pool. Suddenly, a large, wet beach ball lands on Dick's stomach.
Oh.
He pops up, looks off toward the pool. Bruce and Silver laugh from inside the pool, gesture at Dick to come and join them.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh my God, it's
them a
happening, it's
half-hearted
happening,
smile,
it's happening.
and tosses the ball back. Silver looks at Bruce with concern.
Oh, fuck. Wow, this is getting creepy.
Yeah, they about to swang. Interior, Wayne Manor dining room, day. Dick toys with his food at lunch, looks over nicely at Bruce, who is talking nonstop from across the table. Later on, we'll pick up Silver and go to that new magic musical everyone's talking about. We can't stay out too later. Don't forget, we've for that double header tomorrow.
Me, my Dick, and I. Sounds great.
Is something wrong, Dick? Dick lowers his eyes, not wanting to respond. We're all trying. Oh, that's me.
Oh, sorry.
We're all trying just a little too hard around here to make you feel at home, right?
It's not that. You're wonderful to me. It's my fault you've had to try so hard. It's just that it hurts so much sometimes, and I remember and get so filled with hate again.
Hate? Dick's eyes harden. His face sets with a cold look, not unlike that of a young Bruce Wayne when he faced Joe Chill.
I made a promise to myself that day. My parents died. I promised that someday, somehow, I'm going to keep it.
Bruce's eyes flick over carefully. What did you promise?
I'm going to kill the Batman.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. There is a long silence. Bruce smiles tentatively. That's a pretty tall order.
I'm gonna kill the Batman. So sorry. We'll see. I have to rest my life. I have the rest of my life to get it done.
What if he's skipped town, given the whole thing up, died even? No one ever knew who he was in the first place. You can't dedicate your whole life to killing a ghost.
I thought you'd understand. When you told me your parents were killed, don't you feel the same way?
Well, I was younger than you are, and Dick pressing him.
Don't you hate it? Don't you want to do something about it?
Yes, for a while, but then I realized how fruitless it was.
What, my dick?
Well, he did look
That's a fruity dick you've got there, son.
It's fruity.
It's pretty fruity. Well, that's not going to happen to me.
Dick rises from the table, looks over with total penetrating sincerity, his eyes misting over again.
Listen, I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, and for all you intend to do. But if you can't live with my promise, I can't accept it. Support it. Even then, maybe we've both made a mistake. Maybe may I be excused now?
Bruce stares back, deeply moved, almost whispers. Yes, of course you can. Dick hurries out the door. Bruce grits his teeth, crumples up his napkin, squeezing it into a tiny ball. Damn. Exterior, Gotham intersection. Night. Rupert Thorne walks briskly down the street, hat tipped low over his face, coat collar turned up against the night wind. He arrives at a deserted intersection, checks the cross-street signs, then glances down at his watch impatiently. Angle on side of building. Tucked under a high ledge of a nearby building, a mounted camera lens swivels, the moonlight glinting off its surface. Back to Thorne, rubbing his hands together, looking around at the empty streets, irritated.
You're late.
Thorne's head snaps around at he voice. He sees nothing.
We shouldn't be seen together anymore, Mr. Mayor. You can't afford the risk.
Thorne stares. The Joker's voice is coming from inside a short-standing mailbox on the corner. Thorne hesitates, then slowly moves to the mailbox, tilts back the letter slot, mutters, looking around nervously.
I feel like a goddamn idiot.
Interior Joker's lair, night. The Joker speaks into a microphone attached to a tiny transmitting set. A video screen above shows Thorne standing by the mailbox. Note, this scene to be intercut as required.
That's what I felt like 20 years ago, Thorne, when I decided to start off your political career with a bang. Remember Thomas Wayne?
Every time I see his son.
What? What?
No regrets now, Mr. Mayor. It's taken me too long to maneuver us into a position of total control in this city. I've got the judges lined up, the public at your feet. You owe me, Rupert Thorne.
It's a two-way street. Once I relieve Commissioner Gordon of his duties, you'll have a free reign of Gotham. That's my cut. And now that it's legal to shoot the Batman...
We have to find him first. So far, it's been like looking for a virgin in a maternity ward.
Womp womp.
Then don't find him. Let him find you.
Ow. If the real Batman wouldn't even appear at the opera to save the mayor.
The Batman wasn't in love with the mayor. He is in love with a certain young lady. Or so she tells me, and I've never known her to lie.
What is she? A mute?
Careful. You may be talking about the future Mrs. Thorne. I want you to kidnap her.
Now, take my wife, please.
The girl is not to be harmed. Once you've killed Batman and made your escape, I'll call the police and rescue her.
Her knight in shining armor.
Something like that.
I underestimated you, Thorne. I always knew you were corrupt, but I had no idea you'd turn out to be such a delightfully repellent human being.
The Joker cackles insanely. Thorne spots someone coming, closes the slot, hurries off. After a beat, an ancient woman approaches the mailbox with a handful of letters. She lowers the slot.
Do you mind? I'll never get these pictures developed.
The woman screams. Her letters go flying up in the air as she hustles down the street. The insane giggle of the Joker trails off into the night. Interior, Silver's apartment, night. Silver is dressed in a lacy powder blue slip, exits her dressing room, combing her hair. The doorbell rings.
Who is it?
Who is it? Who actually is it? Oh, it's
Gotham-
a Joker.
A Gotham florist lady for a Miss St. Cloud.
Silver looks through the peephole. Angle through peephole. A delivery boy waits, head down, holding a bouquet. Back to scene. Silver opens the door slightly, sticks her arm out. The delivery boy thrusts the bouquet in her hand.
Say it with flowers.
What a surprise.
She inhales the aroma of the bouquet deeply. Her eyes become glassy. She drops to the floor.
What a straight man.
He swings the door open. It is the Joker. Interior police hallway, night. Thorne strides purposefully down the hallway, followed by a reluctant Sergeant Haley.
Was that me? Was I Haley? Oh, was this my weird little...
Yep.
Oh, I don't know, Your Honor. I mean, you're the mayor and all that, but I work for the commissioner.
As of tomorrow morning, no one works for the commissioner. I'm relieving him of his duties.
They have arrived at Gordon's door. Haley is shocked.
I assume you'll be staying on, Sergeant, as a loyal member of the force.
I hope to, sir.
Then open it.
Interior, Gordon's office, night. Haley's key opens the door. They enter. Thorne looks around, spots the red phone connected to the Batcave.
Anyone have the bright idea to run a trace on this?
Yes, sir. First day it was installed, but all we ever got back was an echo of our own number. Guy's amazing, isn't he?
Oh, he's a crafty one, all right. Thanks, Haley, that's all.
Interior, Wayne Manor, night. Dick Grayson descends the darkened staircase, dressed in his pajamas. He hears a noise, sees a light coming from the study. Interior, Wayne Manor's study, night. Alfred is tidying up the study, turns as Dick appears.
All right, if I make a sandwich in the kitchen, Alfred?
Why, certainly, Master Grayson. If I may be of help.
I think I can handle it. Thanks.
Interior, Batcave, night. Bruce sits at the computer, runs through a criminal history of the Joker on the video screen. He pauses, looks off. Angle on Batphone. The red Batphone lights up, then dies. Lights up, then dies. Back to Bruce, staring, unsure. Interior, Wayne's study, night. Alfred reaches to turn off the desk lamp. Suddenly, the light from the lamp rises, then dies. Rises, then dies. Interior, Gordon's office, night. Thorne sits, Batphone in hand. Waits. Back to Batcave. Bruce crosses to the phone. Back to study. Alfred presses the button under the desk. The bottom drawer pops open. Back to Batcave. Bruce picks up the phone. Listens. Back to Gordon's office.
Batman?
No reply.
Batman, if you're there, this is Mayor Rupert Thorne.
Back to Batcave. Bruce listens silently, frowning. Back to study. Alfred holds the extension, listens in as well. Back to Thorne. Note, this conversation is to be intercut between Thorne, Bruce, and Alfred as required.
This isn't easy for me, Batman, considering what I've said and done where you're concerned. But I love Silver St. Cloud very much, and I have reason to believe you do too.
Bruce and Alfred react in their respective locations.
Oh, shit.
I dropped by to have a drink with her tonight. The door was open. There were signs of a struggle, and she was gone. The Joker left a playing card, addressed to you.
Bruce's face sets darkly.
Dear Batman, crime fighters may come and go, but I carry on in the great American tradition of violence. I'm calling my little caper Slaughter in Silver. Ooh. Sorry, I have to run now. Right if you get work.
Bruce's eyes narrow, thinking. Thorne's voice begins to crack emotionally over the phone.
I don't know where they took her, or why the note was left for you. I only know that Silver means more than my life to me, and I beg you to find her and save her. You're her only chance, Batman.
Thorne's voice dies away theatrically. He hangs up. Back to Batcave. Bruce hangs up, stares coldly. His jaw twitches. Back to study. Alfred hangs up in the study, worried. Back to Gordon's office. Thorne takes a deep breath, smiles, rises, exits. Interior, Wayne Manor kitchen, night. Dick has made his sandwich, closes the refrigerator door, starts off for the hallway. Angle on hallway entrance. Dick enters the dark hallway, waits for the stairs as he sees Angle on Alfred, his POV. Alfred rushes out of the study, heading for the living room. He slips, falls heavily, picks himself up, oblivious to the pain, rushes into the living room. Back to Dick, watching. He starts for the stairs, then stops, now curiously heads for the living room himself. Interior Wayne Manor living room, night. Dick enters. Looks around in amazement. Alfred is nowhere to be seen. His eyes scan the room for any other exit. Angle on grandfather clock. Dick's POV. The tall grandfather clock stands against one wall. A thin shaft of light seems to be emanating from behind it. Dick advances to the clock, looks down, puzzled. It seems to be standing at a slight angle away from the wall. Exploring the edge of the clock with his hand, he starts to pull back. The clock swivels, revealing Angle down into Batcave, Dick's POV. The Batcave, with all its trophies, computers, and all its regal splendor. Alfred is standing near the gleaming Batmobile, looks off with concern. Now, emerging from the shadows, the Batman. Dressed in his full regalia, headed quickly toward Alfred and the Batmobile. Back to Dick, staring down, his jaw slack. Stunned, interior Batcave, night! Batman crosses to Alfred, who stares with deadly concern.
Don't go, sir.
Please get out of my way, Alfred.
Since when have you trusted Rupert Thorne? You don't even know where you're meant to be going.
The clues in the note were obvious. The Great American Tradition line. That's the name of this year's series of exhibits at the Gotham Museum. And Write If You Get Work. This month it's on American writers and writing.
If the clues are that obvious, they must want you to come. It's a trap, can't you see that?
That boy up there thinks the Batman killed his parents. I told him he couldn't live his whole life chasing a ghost. What I realize now is I can't live the rest of my life being a ghost. Back to Dick, listening at the top of the stairs, thunderstruck. Back to Batman. Batman puts an arm on Alfred's shoulder. If I come back, old friend, I'll explain things to Dick. Tell him the truth and have the Joker to prove it. And if I don't, take care of him, Alfred. He'll be in much better hands than he has been in mine. Alfred silently steps aside as the Batman enters the Batmobile, roars off through the cave. Alfred pauses sadly, then turns back, heading for the staircase again. He looks up, Angle on Dick, Alfred's POV. Dick stands at the top of the stairs, staring down, grimly determined, his face carved in granite. Exterior, Gotham rooftops, night. Batman's silhouette as he leaps and glides effortlessly across the tops of buildings. Exterior, Gotham Museum, night. The deserted museum with the billboard, Great American Traditions. This month, American writers and writing. Exterior, museum roof, night. The museum roof is a network of vaulted glass skylights. Two thugs stand on a surrounding catwalk. Close on catwalk. A sharp metallic ping is heard across the catwalk. Back to the scene. The thugs look up. One pulls a gun. I think this one is me. The Batman. Count on it. They wheel. Batman stands directly behind them. He grabs the first thug, swivels him as the second thug fires, killing his partner. Holy shit. Batman shoves the dead man into the second thug as both bodies crash down through the glass skylight. Interior museum, up angle, night. The bodies explode through the glass, falling some 60 feet to the floor. Then, total silence. Batman fucking killed both of them. Back to Batman, staring down through the broken glass. Listening, he pulls a tiny revolver from his belt. A barbed metal dart sticks out of the barrel. Batman aims it through the hole, fires. Angle on museum rafters. The dart embeds itself deeply into a rafter. Attached to it is a white nylon cord. Back to Batman. Securing the other end of the cord, he hooks himself to it with a clip, glides through the opening in the glass. Back to rafters. Batman shoots silently along a cord to a rafter, lands gracefully, looks down. Angle down on Batman, his POV, through the dim, eerie light. This exhibit, like the one included in the giant penny, including the giant penny, consists of huge outsized version of everyday items. In this case, the tools of a writer's trade. Enormous pencils, erasers, quill pens, fountain pens, inkwells, a 10-foot-high pencil sharpener, tall volumes of famous American novels, etc. In the center of the display, a giant electric typewriter, some 30 feet wide, a huge sheet of blank white paper is rolled up on it. Back to Batman, staring down curiously through the silent darkness. His gaze starts to wander, then suddenly spots something. Back to typewriter. A figure attached to the typewriter now moves. It is Silver, hooked onto the ribbon near the center of the page. She moans, still recovering from the effects of the drugs.
Bleed! My head!
Is it bleeding?
My head!
I bunked it in the door job. That fucking prick gave me flowers.
My head, it's spherical but quite pointy in parts. Who knows? Who knows what it's from? Anyone? Anyone? It's How I Married an Axe Murderer. So I Married an Axe Murderer. Carry
Head,
on.
move, no.
Head, move. Head, paper, no.
Back to Batman. Eyes widening. He hooks one end of a nylon cord to a rafter, launches himself swinging down towards Silver. Back to rafter. A hand with a knife reaches out, slices through the cord. Back to Batman. Now plummeting like a rock. He falls onto the typewriter in front of Silver. His cape suddenly catching on something, partially ripping it, jerking him to a stop.
It was my last day on work.
Wider angle. The lights are turned on, emerging from behind or under the various exhibits. 30 or 40 goons.
Goons.
Close on Batman. Batman hangs helplessly from the circular element ball which prints out the characters on the page. His cape is caught on the projected edge of one of the giant letters. He stares ahead, unable to extricate himself. Angle on Silver. The glaring lights have brought Silver back to consciousness. Hooked to the huge ribbon near the center of the page, she suddenly spots Batman across from her.
Oh my god.
Wider angle. Stepping out onto the edge of the carriage, the Joker.
I knew you'd drop in, Batman. You're the type of guy. Get it? Type.
The 40 goons I like the point. Hey!
Ayo.
The 40 goons circle in around the typewriter. The Joker nods to two of them. Close on switch. Two goons give a mighty heave, flip the on lever. A loud hum is heard as the typewriter activates. Angle on Thorne. Rupert Thorne hides in the shadows behind a large pencil box, watches the scene. Back to Joker.
You know, you're nothing to write home about, Batman, but let's give it a try.
The Joker points a gun down at the keyboard.
What letter could be hiding under your cape? A D, maybe?
The Joker fires. Close on letter D. The bullet hits the letter D, depressing it. Close on Batman. The element ball carrying Batman shifts, hurtles toward the page with blinding speed. It cracks against the paper sharply, imprinting a D. Batman's head has stopped mere inches from the page. Angle on Silver, eyes welded shut, terrified. That's weird.
Yeah.
The printing of the letter has advanced the ribbon. She is perilously close to the exact center of the page. Back to Joker.
Not the D. The most common letter is E.
Back to Batman. The Joker fires. Batman flies toward the page, this time nearly squashed on the other side. A giant E has been imprinted. Silver advances one more position on the ribbon.
Oh, I get it. What's happening?
An
okay.
A, maybe?
The element ball spins, hurtles towards the
This
paper
is
again.
Adam
It splats into the page, narrowly missing Batman, pushing Silver along again. Immediately, another shot. The ball whizzes back, prints another D.
I know I tried the D before, but I simply couldn't resist.
Wider angle. The message on the page reads, dead. The trembling Silver is only one letter away from being obliterated. Back to Batman. Struggling but helpless, his eyes flash nervously. Back to Thorne, alarmed as he sees what could happen to Silver. Back to Joker.
I know what letter is hidden under your cape, by the way. It's B for Batman. But you see, I've got a problem. If I hit the letter B, Miss St. Cloud will die, and I promised not to kill her.
Back to Thorne, grim, pulling a gun. Back to Joker.
To be or not to be? That seems to be the question. Well, I suppose promises, like laws, are made to be broken.
Oh. I made a promise too, Joker. The night you killed my parents.
Quick cuts. Thorne looks up. Silver looks up. Batman looks up. The Joker looks up. Angle on Robin. Their POV. Dick Grayson stands high in the rafters.
I promised to wipe the filthy crud like you off the face of the earth.
Shoot him!
There's a hail of gunfire as Dick flies down through the air toward the typewriter.
Yay, Dick!
Woo! Go Dick!
Go, Dick, go!
Go, Dick, go! Go, Dick, go! Go!
Dick lands on the tab key. Been there.
Dick!
The carriage releases, shoots across the typewriter, carrying the Joker with it. He flies off the end, crashes sickeningly into the wall, drops to the floor unconscious. Dick bounces off the tab, flies across the keyboard, lands on the shift key.
Aw, shit.
Oh,
no.
shit.
Oh, God.
That ought to give you a lift, Batman.
Angle on Batman. The shift swivels the element ball 180 degrees to expose the capital letters. Batman is swung to the front, grabs the carriage, pulls himself up, looks down as Dick launches himself into a pile of goons like a human dynamo. Leave a few for me, son. Batman leaps off the carriage, joins Dick in the fray. Note, the flight which follows will be outrageous and thrilling, but should look physically believable. Okay.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. The dynamic duo will overpower the gang using the following elements and devices. A. Dick flinging goons back into the pointed tips of the quill pen.
Sure.
Fucking killing them?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. They
Sure.
don't murder.
Like, that's, yeah, this is some
Let's be honest,
murdering
let's not
shit.
forget.
This
like,
is-
the original Batman didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about murder.
No, he
Yeah.
did shoot
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was no worry. So
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
I'm happy they kept this because this
Yeah.
is like
that's
it kind of
awesome. It's
Yeah.
more modern than the one we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some way,
this is
in-
the first one I've ever seen of this kind where Batman and Robin just fucking killing people.
Yeah. Well, fuck you guys. Suck your evil.
you.
Duh.
Both of our
Assholes.
parents. Die.
B. Batman lifting a fountain pen lever, firing a river of ink at an onrushing group. C. Both of them using springy, huge erasers as launching platforms. Sure. D. Oversized volumes of literature slamming shut on the villains. E. Enormous bookmarks and letter
Classic,
openers swinging as clubs,
classic.
knocking out 3 or 4 crooks at a time. F.
All right.
Heavies being hurled into huge, deep inkwells, turning them sopping black wet, unable to climb out again. Presumably fucking drowning.
Yeah.
G. Dick bashing a pair of thugs back into the side of the giant pencil sharpener. They slam back against the on button, activating it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, this is
That's
like this
really
is the best
fucked up.
duo.
Yeah.
This is intense.
This is seriously
During the
already better than I've ever seen.
It's
in
like
Batman.
the Adam West stuff, but like darker.
They threw in like the Dark Knight Returns. Or
Yeah.
It's like if Christian Bale did like throwbacks. This
Yeah.
is really nice. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
It's got the
That
cheek.
would have been delightful.
You know what?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I know.
yeah,
I would
this,
want to see that.
I've changed my
watch it.
mind. This isn't a script to be made fun of, even though we've made the fun out this script. This is actually pretty good, and I'd like to see this.
It's
Yeah.
getting us here. At
This
the
is the
end
one that I
here.
missed. Yeah.